So, with your phasing and delivery planning, the objective is to schedule product drops in line with your marketing campaigns and the peaks of your season, and also align them with the supplier lead times too. So, it's kind of really merging those two ends of things. If you know it's going to be a mid-season sale, you want to make sure that drops are planned very well around that. Or if there's an event where you have, for example, if your brand is a part of press, you definitely want things dropping at the right time so that when it's advertised, and customers do come onto your site or visit your store, that the stock is there. So that's the objective for that. And then the tools that are used are delivery calendars, critical path trackers, line plans as well. And it will also be promotional calendars too that will be used in this, because you want to know when events are. So now, after all of that, you would finally be in season. And so the first activity that's done in season is sales tracking and reporting. This is where we would gather all of the information that has happened from the first drop, usually a week's time frame. And the objective is to monitor your sales performance and versus it with your targets and your KPIs, and it will guide you through trading and reforecasting as well. So the tools that are used for this heavily is your purchase order dashboards. You'd also have things like Tableau, which is a analytical tool for sales. Always have your Excel, like I said, and then there's things like BI as well, business intelligence, and there's just so much software for things like that, grabbing sales information, linking it with your POS dashboards, because your point of sale records all of this information, all of the sales, and then feeds it in through all of these systems, and then the buying and merchandising team would read that information and make decisions based on how has sales performed, and has it met our targets that were listed out in pre-season, has it done how we had hoped, and then you move on from there. Then your next thing would be rebuys and reforecasts. The objective for that would be to now optimize availability and to react to demand. You will adjust your stock levels and your ordering units and additional units and all of that. And so the tools that you would use would be your Wizzy, your reforecasting templates. You always have Excel, and then planning systems as well. Now, rebuys and reforecasts are very important. It's really where you tweak how things are going. You would never just buy everything, put it in, and then sit back for a season. Every single week, even midweek, probably every day, you would be reforecasting, because based on how sales are doing, based on how performance is going, is based on how you're going to rebuy. And you don't want to overbuy, and you also don't want to underbuy. So that would be a crucial in-season activity. Next, you would be having markdown strategy. Now, the objective for this would be to maximize sell-through by planning timely markdowns and to reduce terminal stock while also still protecting your margin. Again, everything really does sound very contradictory, because it's like, oh, you want to mark down, but then you want to protect the margin. But again, that's where the talent is. That's how you make your money, because you do want to eat through the stock at the end of the day. If many weeks are going and the stock isn't really moving, you need to now be looking at markdown strategy. And the way you do that while protecting the margin is by only doing it in tweaks, right? So that's where you see things like promotions and things like that, or sale, because the retailer is just gently nudging the stock in the right place at the right time, and hoping that, we can do it in a balanced way. The tools that are used are your markdown plans. You'll have a markdown calculator too, and then many other pricing tools that will all be linked to your POS dashboard, so that obviously it all feeds through to the tills and you're selling it at the new updated price. So one of the many things that we used to do was, updating the new price on things. And yeah, so the next thing in the task life cycle is promotions and trade decisions. So markdown is more of your markdown strategy is more of a full view of, all sale conversations. Then your promotion and trade decisions is the tweaking side of things. This is the objective here is to drive sales through strategic price offers and promotions, and then obviously again while managing the impact on margins. So the tools that are used here is also your promotional calendar. You use trade packs too. Trade packs are basically sales information but built over time, not just your sales sheet, which is like weekly sales or even day sales they have. But basically the point here is making the stock move in a more reasonable way, making the stock move not too impacting our margin, but also still moving at the end of the day, so that we can restock, get some fresh stock in, and obviously still make profit on the stock that we are trying to move. So you'll do your light promotions. Then you'll have visual merchandising input. That ensures cohesive visual presentation that supports product strategy and sales goals. It's all about the way things look in store. There is also online visual merchandising, because you want to know what category is going to show first, what's our hero product, what are we talking about the most, what are we going to shout about, and then what is going to sit in the background and can just tick along because we know it's going to sell. And that's usually things like that are core items, like for example jeans, your black jeans, or your regular wash denim that can sit in the back, because we know that always goes. We have our denim section, our denim category. Then something we would shout about would be something very new, something very seasonal, something that doesn't stay in very long. Like if it was a nice cute top, or a nice dress, or nice summer top, summer dress, or an occasion wear. You have in summer there's also very much wedding season. If it was like a nice cool this wedding guest category now, all of that kind of stuff would very much be a visual merchandiser's concern. You would use things like planograms. Those are very helpful for plotting the store without having to be in the store. There will be visual guidelines. You'll use very much Adobe Creative Suites for that. And you can just plot your store in the most perfect way. And you do the same for online, obviously, too. Then, still in season, we have stock management. And that objective there is to manage stock flow and availability across DCs and stores to maintain optimal inventory level. So DCs means distribution centers, and we want to put the stock in the right place. So what that means is we want to make the stock available in inventory as quickly as possible for the customer to get. And if you are doing this for a multinational retailer, international retailer, you want to put enough stock in each place. The reason we mention distribution centers is because There will be obviously the main delivery from the supplier to your distribution center as a retailer. Then it would be the retailer's job to distribute it on from there. And they would have to put enough units online, enough units in, for example, the different regions that they've got. You know, for example, we're taking this up country, you know, Scotland or Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, or even, like I said, if it's international, have we properly allocated the international units, you know, so that when the customer can see something online and press buy, it is readily available for them. And then there's also, again, in store, the same thing. And then the tools that are used for that is your inventory systems. These are like your ERP systems now. That's your enterprise resource planning, and that's heavily enterprise software. For example, SAP or Business One. Then you'll have stock dashboards as well. There's so much software, but as a concept view, I do have Excel spreadsheets to plot out inventory from a basic view, just to understand the concepts behind these inventory sheets. So the next thing in your life cycle while you're still in season is your sell-through analysis. And the objective of this is to measure sell-through by line, style, or option, and to assess performance and inform your next buy. And you would use sell-through trackers, Excel, Tableau again, or your BI, all those big softwares, or even just Excel sheets to understand how much we have sold over time. Because now here we're looking at many weeks of a style as opposed to just week by week. That's what sell-through analysis is. We're looking over time now of all of in season. Lastly, we have Wizzy updates. So Wizzy updates, the objective of that is to update the weekly sales stock and intake tool and to manage your stock health, your intake and your margins still. That would happen weekly. You'll always be looking at your Wizzy and updating it too. There'll be your forecasted, how much we thought we were going to sell, how much did we actually sell, and then you would make decisions based on that. And again, the tools used is the Wizzy, and a Wizzy can be in any form. It will be either on Excel, it will be on your planning systems, and there's also line level reporting too. Now, after we've done in season, we have properly documented sales tracking, we have done our rebuys, we have put the stock in the right place at the right time with your stock management, and done your allocations to the right regions, and you know, updated our Wizzy constantly. After we've done all of those things, we now reach a post season, and the first thing we would do at the close of season is work on an end of season review. And the objective of that is to review the seasonal performance, identify our hits, identify our misses, and improvement areas for our future buys. Because now if we're looking at next season, we don't want to make the same mistakes again. We want next season to be even better. So we have to do an end of season review for the close of this season. And the tools that are used are your season review templates, PowerPoint, or any slide deck software. You would use sales reporting because you're using your sales information, and you know, any BI dashboards or anything that just shows all of that information. You would present it to, it would be quite a senior thing, this one, because it's the heads of who really make strategic decisions in terms of where the next season is going to go, how we're going to tackle next season based on this information. So this information is really crucial for a brand or a retailer. So it's definitely handled at a senior level, and it's reported on quite majorly. Sometimes it's even done as a whole company. So yeah. Then there's also your lessons learned and next season planning. This is now when we get back into our little teams and everybody does what they need to do in terms of moving forward. And the objective here is to extract actionable insights to improve planning, buying, and trading for future seasons. Now, again, this is where we put our thinking hats on and really start rebuilding next season. And the actionable insights could be anything, literally like saying, you know what, let's just drop that whole category. For example, if we say we did our hero product, we had our summer dress that we thought would be a hit, it was terrible. Let's not go into next season with a summer hit dress. Let's try a summer hit top or blouse, or let's actually get that denim out in the front. Maybe that denim that ticked along, if we hyped it even more, it would do even better. Making decisions like that. And the tools that are used are your lessons learned, templates, your debrief documents. Again, it will be very PowerPointy, pitch decky, because we're still in that thinking stage. It's very much presentery vibes. And then lastly, we have supplier scorecards. So the objective of this is to evaluate the supplier performance across quality, delivery, cost, and compliance. And we really want to know which suppliers produced our really good products, because we definitely want to stick with those suppliers. And which suppliers are we going to drop because they made products that either had a really high return rate. We measure things like that. If something was returned all the time and people are saying, oh, this is coming up too small, or it shrinks, or it frays, or it comes apart at the seams, or whatever, we don't want to go back to that supplier. And so this is all done in your supplier scorecards. We definitely do keep metric of who makes the best products. And the tools that are used are literally just a supplier scorecard template, and that can be via Excel, or it can be in a really high software or portal or PLM system if you're with a really big retailer again. So those are the main in-season, pre-season, in-season, and post-season tasks, and all of the tools that are used. Again, this is a fun visual for that. But if you have any questions, or if there's anything here that you want me to dive into and dig deeper on and do a whole thing on, please do leave a comment, let me know. But I thought this would be a very helpful overview of your full, breadth and depth task life cycle in the fashion buying and merchandising process. The Access to Fashion member newsletter gives you direct access to practical resources, buying and merchandising templates, and industry standard tools that are expert approved. Subscribe now and get immediate access to exclusive downloads and practical tools that will give you a real edge and keep you ahead of the curve. Visit the link below to join now.